Hello, hello, hello. We're doing Better Call Saul again. I've got a few more reviews last time. It was weird. See, I've got the book just to prove that I'm a fan and everything. This is episode 11, Breaking Bad. I think it's called, isn't it? Yeah, Breaking Bad. I think they kind of let the cat out of the bag. That was an episode title of Breaking Bad, I believe. I'm talking in episode titles. Oh, there will be spoilers. You know that, because we've got to talk about the plot. We're doing an analysis. Ping. Analysis. Oh, there's a lot. I just want to say before we start, this episode totally shows why last week's episode was a complete and utter failure. For last week, nothing happened. Not a lot happened. And this week, we have more plot and more things and more forward momentum than you could. It was dizzying. Last week, glacial. This week, dizzying. And again, pacing issues. They could have set up the gang in half an episode, even in 20 minutes, because they do this again. They can have a great deal of brevity in doing things. Scenes can be boom, boom, boom. But last week it was stretched to the point of, I don't know, ridiculousness. But that's just my opinion. There are many people who loved it. They're wrong, and I'm right. But again, I do get the feeling it was a bit of filler. I don't think they know what to do. I mean, because there are conclusions we're heading towards, and I don't think we needed 53 minutes of a heist. So anyway, it opens with I don't even remember how it began. How did it begin? The titles are weird again, aren't they? The titles have gone all like it's all gone. Yeah. But yeah, it begins with the kidnap of Saul Goodman. It's a flashback, colour, and it's Breaking Bad, because we're in that universe. It dovetails. We're doing all that, and we see Walter and Jesse again, and we see the scene from his perspective. Being taken into the desert, and the mention of Lalo and Nacho, or Ignacio. We see that played from Gene's perspective, and great. We knew we was going to get that. I think that has been hinted at in previous things. I'm in two minds. About it. I know a lot of fans want to see them. I don't really care. I'd prefer to see it, from his perspective, like from his office, him and Mike doing the talking, like we saw later on in the episode. I think that we didn't need to actually see them, or we could have just, I don't know, heard their voices. Though Aaron Paul's voice sounds so old, they could have de-aged his voice. This is the thing. Bryan Cranston, it's kind of, he's ageless now, isn't he? He's kind of didn't need to do anything. But again, old Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman, we all get old. I mean, I was only 12 when I started doing these reviews of Breaking Bad, and now look at me. That's going to confuse a lot of people who don't watch regularly. I wasn't. I'm 51, right? But yeah, we see that dovetailing. But then we also, after the credits, we cut, flash forward, black and white. It's the now, colour the past, and we're back with Francesca, his assistant at the office, and she thinks she's being towed, and she goes out to a payphone, and you know what's going to happen here. He reaches out to her. So now, does he do this regularly? It looks like she's the manager of like she's doing house management, rental management. I don't know what you'd call it in America, but she goes around, doing the maintenance, unblocking sinks and that for people, and not enjoying it very much. Her life is very much mundane. But we hear from her what happened, and her scenes are important. They're very important because we hear about the aftermath of his disappearance and what happens to Skylar. She gets a deal, you know. Yule gets pressure put on him, and has moved on, and she had pressure put on her. She knows she's being followed. She knows that the phone's being tapped. They're still hot for Saul Goodman, and that's an important point. We're still not sure exactly how much time has passed. Some say it's been a year, but the way that Jean, Saul, Jimmy seem broken by the Cinnabon lifestyle, it always felt to me like it was more than a year, like it was a couple of years. Years have passed, because you do this thing for a while, and then or maybe Jimmy is closer to the surface of Jean than we realise. But anyway, there is no love lost between them. He pays her. There is money stashed, and I love that. He's always thinking a step ahead. There's always a scam. There's always an emergency get-out route. There's always a parachute stashed away. He's one of those guys. He does plan, and that. He is a planner. He does this. A bit incredible, but we'll suspend our disbelief. And he finds out about Kim. Because Kim had been in contact with her once. But like I say, we find out what's happened, the immediate aftermath. They've got everything. Everything. The Fed's got everything. Except what he's got stashed. And he goes back, he drives off, but he goes back to the payphone and attempts to contact Kim at a job down in Florida. We don't hear the phone call. We see the phone call externally from the phone box, and he is not happy. Words are exchanged, and he smashes up the phone box as a result of that. Now, it could be that she's moved on. I don't think so, because if she's moved on, he'd be dejected. He'd be head down. It could be that, I don't know, maybe they've had a blazing argument. Maybe she's married now. Maybe she's dead. That would make him angry. Maybe that's it. Who knows? Or maybe she's gone to the police. Maybe she said, "Don't come near me. I've already spoken to the police about you." Maybe she's already sung like a canary, and that's what made him angry. Maybe that last chance of redemption has gone. I think so. I think it's the end. That was the end. Because it dictates what happens next in the episode. That action on the telephone dictates what happens next, and it's very self-destructive what happens next. But the show is intercut with Breaking Bad parts, because it's called Breaking Bad, and we see them in the van, and it's okay, it's all right. The best scene, I think, was in his office with Mike, because that felt right. That felt right. And you hear that it was Saul, Jimmy, pushing for Walter to be absorbed into the Fring organisation. I see him as a piece of clay. He sees potential in Walter White. Probably because they're similar people. We've found out that they're both empire builders, aren't they? They both have that same kind of narcissist, sociopath tendency, and we see parallels between those two characters that we've never seen before, because you think of him as just a wisecracking lawyer who's got an answer, but he's not. There's more to him than that, and he likes money, and he likes building wealth, and he likes building things, and he wants to build back his previous life. The pinky ring in the flashback is still on, because he's reached his final form now. This is a hybrid between Slippin' Jimmy and Saul Goodman. Though I don't know. I don't think actually. No, I'm gonna retract that. I don't think it is. I think this is a new form completely, and it's kind of based on Slippin' Jimmy, but there's an aspect of Kim, the cutthroat, part of her nature has seeped into him. He doesn't care anymore. He doesn't care anymore. And we see them dupe a number of marks. Mark is a term for, a hit in a con that he's been researching. He works with Jeff and his brother, and he's, again, that whole episode last week was just so it can service this idea that he's got a little gang in Omaha that will work for him. That whole episode was just the mechanic for this episode, but we didn't need 53 minutes establishing that. There are other ways they could have done it. I thought it was incredibly sloppy, especially when we saw how this con was created and pulled off, how these cons were done. They were done very quickly, and back to that really snappy direction, and writing style that we're used to. And it goes really well. They make lots of money, They're getting people drunk and piling them with barbiturates to make them sleep, and taking all their personal information so they can empty bank accounts quietly without them even knowing. It's one of those cons. Until he meets one guy at a bar, and it's played by the guy who was in Big Bang Theory, isn't it? That played Stuart, the comic book owner. And again, because of the casting, again, the other guy who played the first Mark, he's been in stuff, and I haven't done any research. I've just come on immediately after watching it, and I'm talking. That something's up because they've got somebody in, who's a bit more, of an actor. You know what I mean? It's a bit more of a performance piece, and he figures it out. The guy's got cancer, not the good kind. That Curb Your Enthusiasm reference, I believe. Go and watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. Is in the same universe. Is Curb and Breaking Bad / Better Call Saul in the Curb universe? I'd like to think it is. I'd like to see Larry David walk in and go, "Oi!" That'd be funny, wouldn't it? But yeah, this guy's cancer, and he asks him about it. And you think for a minute he's going to call off the dogs. You think he's going to say, "We're not doing this. This guy's got cancer." I knew a guy with cancer. He did. Walter White. But his experience of Walter White doesn't let this guy off the hook. In fact, it just hardens his resolve, because he remembers what Walter White did to him. Walter White is responsible for his downfall. Walter White pulled everything down in his blind aggression to own everything and get revenge. And even people with cancer can be arseholes, is what he says, I think, I quoted it correctly. And that's why he goes ahead with it. He says, right, we'll just carry on. In his mind, he carries on with it. But Jeff's brother says, no, I'm not happy with this. He comes back and says, I'm not doing it. He's got cancer. I saw his meds. I saw, his same meds. I've seen them. And he refuses point blank to do it because he's not a monster. And neither's Jeff. Because even Jeff's like, but he's scared. He's scared of Gene, Saul, Jimmy. He's scared of him. You can see, this is somebody who's scared. And don't be surprised if him and his mother go to the police and dob him in it, because this is self-destructive behaviour. He doesn't care anymore. He wants to be caught, because he's involving other people in scams that are far too big, to launder on his own. And when you involve people, things can go wrong. He's going back. He's Breaking Bad. That's the title of the episode. He's Breaking Bad. Because Gene was meant to just hide, put his head down, and get through this. But no, he's Breaking Bad. He's going to slip on the pinky ring, and he's going to build empires again. And that will be his undoing. And in that end scene, we see Marion, Carol Burnett's character, seeing her sons, being corralled by him into the shed. And it's like, now, she's protective of Jeffy anyway, because she saw what happened back in Albuquerque. He mixed with some wrong people. She's got the internet now. She has the computer. How long before she stops looking for cat videos? They didn't employ Carol Burnett for nothing, You know what I'm saying? And so we've got two episodes left now. And it's becoming painful, because he's a horrible character. He's as nasty now as Walter White is. Again, I've never been a fan. I always rooted for Jesse. Jesse was the innocent one, the same way as Howard, and to some extent Nacho were the innocents in this drama. But he's revealed himself. He's full in human form. He's not a nice man. May he get what's coming to him. You can take him down now, officer. We have no further need for him. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm sure there'll be people rooting for him, but you can't root for someone like this, can you? I can't, because any moral compass, and he did, as Jimmy, he had a moral centre, and he tried to help people, and he tried to do good things, but that's all been destroyed and corrupted by first his brother, then Kim, to a certain extent, even his experiences with Lalo. It's shaped him and broken bits off of him and turned him into this monster. He even did karaoke, badly in character. This guy is a monster now, and he needs to be stopped. And Carol Burnett is going to do it. There we go. Will we see Kim again? Yes, we will. Will we see more of the Breaking Bad timeline? Yes, we will. We'll see more of Walter and Jesse. I think there's 3 scenes, and I think we've had 1. Include that one. That's 1. And of course, there's lots they can do with him and Mike, and even him and Gus. It'd be interesting to see the fallout of Gus's death. The panic that might bring. Oh my God, Gus is gone. He who shall not be named. I'd like to see his reaction to that, because you don't realise his involvement. He's involved, but you don't know. You don't see. You see the arm move, but you don't see the muscles. What the muscles do, and this time we're pulling back the skin to see the musculature twitching and throbbing, and that would be interesting. I don't really care much for Walt and Jesse's reappearance. I'd be more interested to see Hank turn up, and warn Saul, turn up at the thing going, "You've been hanging around my brother-in-law," that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Because I do think there's a lot of emphasis placed on Walt and Jesse, and their story's done. So I think they could be more playful with some of the other characters that are in the universe, like Tuco again. Tuco Salamanca. He kind of disappeared, didn't he, into jail. But anyway, yeah, it was a good episode. I don't think again it really was the payoff from the previous episode I wanted, because again that episode was just so leaden. I'm sorry if you liked it. I just couldn't. I watched it twice, because I watched it again with the missus, and I still sat there going, But good to see William Oakley, his mate who he used to chat with, that Jimmy used to talk to at the courthouse, kind of reinvent himself as Saul Goodman on the benches. He's now a defence lawyer. I thought that was a nice twist. Again, there's lots of things they can do with these peripheral characters. I think we'll have a spin-off. Bill Oakley, Wild Bill. But anyway, thanks for watching. I think I've gone on enough. I only have 2 episodes left, I believe, and yeah, it feels a bit sad. It feels like watching something die slowly. When Breaking Bad aired, there wasn't that feeling. Yeah, there was a feeling of dread, but there was always a hope that Jesse might escape, or even Walter might see the error of his ways and fix things properly, and maybe give himself up, or maybe, do something amazing, or even escape and, do something clever. But there isn't that sense of dread that we have this time around, because we know what the story is. And Gene, this final form, is horrible. He's up there with Walter White now as he's an anti-hero. He's a villain. And for what? Empire building. Anyway, they're two of the same, 2 sides of the same coin. Interesting that, because like-minded people are attracted to each other, and that's what this shows. Walter White becomes his Kim Wexler. Yeah, the potentially saw in Kim, he sees in Walter White. He replaced her with Walter. That's Better Call Saul. We've only got 2 episodes left, and blimey, not long. Thank you for watching. My name's Darren Locke. That was Breaking Bad, episode 11, series 6. Better Call Saul. We'll be doing this again soon. Thank you for watching. So one more thing left to say, and it's ta-da.